Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. A man was cited for battery after allegedly accosting an OHV rider in a Yucca Valley neighborhood. On Friday at approximately 1 p.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a call of battery in the 55,800 block of Free Gold Drive in Yucca Valley. Deputies say that the victim was riding his off-highway vehicle when he was confronted by Mike Volchik, 68. Deputies say that during the confrontation, Volchik picked up a rock and acted as though he was going to throw it at the victim, but did not. Deputies say that Volchik also grabbed the victim during the confrontation. Mike Volchik was arrested on suspicion of battery, issued a citation, and released at the scene. A remote spot tucked into the Mecca Hills wilderness was supposed to be the spot where President Biden was to announce 2 new national monuments in California, but windy weather yesterday caused a cancellation. Online news editor Robert Hayden was on the site and picks up his report from here.
A quickly scheduled event from the White House was expected to be the announcement of both the Chuckwalla National Monument just south of Joshua National Park and the Satitla Highlands National Monument north of Lake Shasta. Together, both monuments will protect 848,000 acres of California wilderness, with the majority of that belonging to the land surrounding the spot where the announcement was to take place. Anyone familiar with the Mecca Hills knows Box Canyon Road. If you're coming out of the Cottonwood entrance to Joshua Tree National Park, you cross the 10 and drop into a 2-lane road that leads into the canyons and round rock formations of the Mecca Hills wilderness. The Secret Service and the Riverside County Sheriff's Department had multiple mobile command vehicles set up in the soft sand in a wash about 8 miles down Box Canyon. While the hills felt like it blocked some of the wind, microbursts began to increase and at one point picked up one of the large white tents intended for guests of the event and overturned it on the road, toppling a barrier along with it. A few raindrops began to fall, and when the low-altitude surveillance planes that had been circling above disappeared, it was anticipated that a small crowd of journalists and event organizers would see Air Force One appear over the painted hills. Instead, news of the cancellation came swiftly as spotty cell coverage in the canyon kept most people in the dark about the high winds hitting Southern California and the wildfire that had been kicked up in Los Angeles. The Chuckwalla National Monument is over 600,000 acres, and the White House says in their press release that the giant swath of land adds to the Mojave to Moab Conservation Corridor, which reaches from the western edges of the new Chuckwalla National Monument all the way to Grand Escalante and Bears Ears National Monuments in Utah. President Biden restored those latter 2 conservation areas in Utah after President Trump set the tone for his public land policy by immediately reducing the amount of protected land in Utah when he first took office in 2017. Speaking with BLM volunteers and White House liaisons at the event, most were optimistic about the announcement. However, the uncertainty of an incoming president that has demonstrated an opposite approach to conservation and public lands leaves supporters of the new national monuments wondering if the long-awaited and fought-for federal protection will be undone after Trump takes office on January 20th. You can find photos and videos from the canceled announcement, as well as more information on the Chuckwalla and Satitla Highlands National Monuments and the tribes and conservation groups that have called for their protection at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The Yucca Valley Airport District Board of Directors meets in regular session tonight to take action on the results of the November election and discuss new officers. The board will also consider the status and security of the airport's west end fencing. Comments from the public on these and other topics are welcome. Tonight's meeting is open to the public and begins at 6:30 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. The Copper Mountain College Board of Trustees meets in regular session tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. The board is expected to discuss spring semester course fees and will receive reports about academic services, student services, and human resources. Tomorrow's meeting is open to the public and begins at 3 p.m. at the CMC Bell Center Community Room at 6162 Rotary Way in Joshua Tree. Kurt Schaupner is known as the acclaimed journalist and editor behind The Desert Trail. What I didn't know is that he's also a musician, and though he rarely plays live, this weekend you'll have 2 chances to see him play his music with a full backing band. I sat down with Schaupner for a conversation about his music and the show, called Stories, Excuses, and Alibis. Most people would know you from the Desert Trail, right?
Correct. I just finished my 25th year here. I'm the editor.
But what people might not know is that you're also a musician.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar for most of my life. Got my first guitar, I think I was about 10 or 12 years old. Ever since the mid-'80s, I've been writing songs and trying to record them. It's been a hobby, and I've gotten a few songs written over the years. A lot of the songs will be a debut. This is going to be the first really full-length concert I've ever done. For each song, I tell a little story, sometimes about how it was written, or sometimes about the person it was written about. But it's basically just me and the group. We got Psychic Black playing with me, and then Tom Merrick from Hunter and the Wicked. He joined us, and we have a great time playing the music and hearing the stories about the songs. It's eclectic. So I like all different types of music, and I like to try and do all kinds of music. So it's going to be some blues, going to be some folk, going to be some rock, going to be some pop. So I try and vary it all. The arrangements are pretty basic, but like I said, I've got these great musicians backing me up, so you're going to hear some wonderful things. There's a guy who plays violin on a few songs, and he's classically trained, so it's going to be achingly beautiful.
Is there going to be an accompanying album or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if you want to hear these songs, this is going to be kind of your chance.
This is it. This is it for you. You know, if you blow it, you blow it. You know.
So if people want to come see this show, how can they come see the show?
They can go online to theater29.org, get themselves some tickets, and then drive themselves down.
The shows are Saturday and Sunday night at Theater 29. You can visit theater29.org or call 760-361-4151. Both shows cost $20 with discounts for seniors and military personnel. The Yucca Valley High School Lady Trojan basketball team opened up defense of their Desert Valley League championship with a 74-14 victory over Indio High School last night at the Trojan Gym. The Yucca girls led at halftime by a 49-7 score, and the second half was played with a running clock. Junior Tegan Moon led the squad, scoring a season-high 21 points. She was followed by sophomore Camilla Medina, who knocked down 16 points. While the team upped their overall record to 7-8 on the season, they look to win their second straight league game when they travel to Coachella Valley High School on Thursday to face the also 1-0 team. Tip-off is at 5:30 p.m. And finally, the Yucca Valley High School boys soccer teams played at Indio High School last night. Junior varsity lost 6-0. Coach George Rodriguez named the player of the game as Silius Bloodworth for his effort in team leadership. Varsity lost 3-1. The team's one goal was scored by Oswaldo Lopez. The team hosts Coachella Valley High School tomorrow night. JV kicks off at 4 p.m. and varsity at 5:30 p.m. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.